that's a question mark going into this year. So we'll probably be 50-50. I might even add in some. I got two really good running backs, so I might even add in some go-go formations because I think I got the kids that are willing to share playing time and block if they can get the rock as well. So our sniffer might be the second running back. So
I'd love to hear all about that tonight.
Great. Okay, cool. Well, let's do that. So let me just open it just so we have that clip for the for the edit. I'm going to open the show. Joe and I will talk for 2 seconds, and then we'll welcome you in, Coach Terrance. Okay. Okay. All right. Welcome in everybody again for another episode of the Air Raid Academy Live. I'm Matt Lasker, as always, here with Joe Salas with his academy. Coach, how's it going? How's the week?
A good week. Appreciate you doing all this, buddy.
Yeah, of course. I'm having a great time. And as a quick update before we get to an awesome conversation with Coach Terrance Banks, I just looked and I saw we are at 95 members in our little new community here in Discord. So, you know, if you are listening to this on YouTube, I see a bunch of people on YouTube. Come over to Discord. Number one, to join us so we can get over 100. Our goal is 500 by spring, so we can do like a fun spring install with you guys. And also, we have a channel here. It says Sunday Night Live Chat. I asked for people to put questions for Coach in that chat earlier today, and I already have a couple locked and loaded. But if you want to ask him some questions as you hear him talking about high level high school football in Atlanta, please pop over into that, put your questions there, and we'll be happy to read those out. Obviously, our membership or our members' questions will always get asked to the guest, and we will prioritize those even over our questions. So thanks for doing that. All right, so without further ado, tonight we have Coach Terrance Banks out of Atlanta. I've interviewed him on my podcast before, but you guys have probably seen him all over YouTube. He's got an awesome, I don't know, I'd classify it as power spread, but we're going to ask him how he classifies his offense here in a second. Um, but yeah, we're going to talk some offensive philosophy, a little bit about his air raid roots. He does run a lot of air raid concepts passing wise. We always talk quarterbacks, and we'll just see what he's up to this year. So, Coach Banks, great to have you with us. How's it going?
it's going good, man. Thankful for you guys having me on. I'm glad to be here tonight.
Absolutely. This time of year is a little fun, huh? Is it? Have you guys gotten into doing some structured practicing, getting ready for spring?
We have not. We kind of, just normal. The good. So, of course, the good news about like the state of Georgia, I see my kids every day in weight training. So it's not like I don't have access. I have full access to my kids.
Nice, nice.
So we have weight training going on. We are a morning lift school, so we start school at 7 o'clock. So they will be lifting from 7 to 8:36. A lot of my coaches are off doing second sport. My DC offensive coordinator are the co-head track coaches. I've got a coach at tennis, a coach at baseball. So my kids kind of scattered here, there, and everywhere. But coming up here after spring break in April, we'll kind of dive back into it. We can do 4-on-1s in Georgia, so we sneak some time to to do those 4-on-1s. My OC, because of track, will go Tuesday, Thursday mornings before school with some quarterback stuff in the gym, and then my offensive line coach rotates in offensive lineman. But we got pretty good contact, but we don't rush it. I don't rush it. Let me say I have some friends who have already started installing, but for me it'll be after spring break. Give you a little 2 week runway into spring football.
Love it.
What was the term you're using? 4-on-1.
Yeah, so instead of Georgia coach, you can have 4 kids work with one coach
Mm,
Okay.
at a time. That's legal in the off season. So like my offensive line coach got a real good structure. He does it like Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So he he kind of brings them in, kind of like center guard, center tackle. And then he rotates the next group, and so everybody kind of gets their day. And he's got a good little program going on. And same thing. Well, we only have quote unquote. I got three bodies at quarterback. I won't say I got three quarterbacks. We got three bodies at quarterback. So it's kind of easy for my quarterback coach to kind of get them going. But yeah, that's probably our football direct time. But other than that, after school, other than that, like I said, we get them for weight training, and we're focused on that right now.
How much do you ever do like skill development in weight training? Are you allowed to do that, or is it just strictly strength and agility?
Oh no, you're allowed to in that class, because you don't have on helmets. You're allowed to do as much as you want to. We will more, like I say, kind of after spring break, because that will start our install. Um, Kind of on like Wednesdays, we normally do like yoga and things of that nature. So Wednesdays we'll start some install after spring break. I don't worry about it as much as I think some of the other coaches do. I'm just, hey, get them athletic. The football part takes care of itself. Then too, because again here in Jordan summer, we see our kids, coach. You know how it is, probably where you get North Carolina South Carolina. We see our kids 8 to 12 Monday through Thursday, at 4 days a week during the summer. Like you're going to get a ton of access to them. So right now, I'm not worried. As worried about the football portion. If you see your kids 3 to 4 hours, 4 days a week, 12 hours. Not to mention if you have a 7-on-7, if you have a padded camp during the summer, you can't find time to get better, then it's not the kids, it's you as a person. So that's kind of my philosophy.
What are your rules on padded camps? I've heard that term before.
So in Georgia, four schools can get together. Now we can no longer go more than 5 dates, but you can get together, coach, and you can thud and hit for Um, well, you got you've got the thud, you've got controlled, you've got non-padded. The language that has to be used. Thud is kind of know the predetermined winner. You can do control with pads on, but it's a determined winner. So like, we will go. Um, I'm switching it up a little bit this year, but in July. So July, like the 14th, 15th, and 16th, we got kind of like 3 days of paddock camps, and then we can officially put on pads until July the 27th. You got to do 5 days of acclimation, but I'm not in a rush because, like I said, we're gonna do about 3 7-on-7 passing days in June. We're gonna kind of focus on passing in June. Then in July, we'll get about 8 hours worth of padded thudding in July. And then that's in the middle of July. Then you turn around, the 20th is acclimation. The 27th is the first day you can wear pads. I'm generally not in a rush to get pads on the 27th because we're going to have 8 to 10 hours of thudded camps the 14th through the 16th, and we film it. So, you know, we get to, I'll have 3 hours of inside run before we even get to the first official day of football practice.
Right. I'm with you.
So
Yeah, Coach, I've noticed Salas. You kind of had the same sentiment about this time of year. I think I asked you about this last year. It seemed like you were, and even leading up to spring, it seems like you were more like, let's just be with. Well, maybe we're talking about quarterbacks, but build relationships during this time of year, culture stuff, the soft skills, and then there's plenty of time for the football. I feel like that's what you had told me in the past about how you kind of handled it as well, huh?
Yeah, I'm with Coach. I'm not in a big hurry to. I mean, we're gonna do spring ball, and we got plenty of time. I always feel like by the time we're done with spring ball, which do you guys get to play a game now, Coach, in Georgia?
What?
yes, we do. It's it's,
Really?
it's your choice, but yeah, we do. It's every school choice. We
Yeah, I
get
thought it switched
13.
back to that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's amazing. We don't get to do that. I think that's amazing. But I always feel like at the end of spring, we could play a game. I mean, we're ready to play a game. So
you get 13 days to do 10 practices, including the spring game. we do have a spring opponent. So like you said again, right now, like you said, culture building, you win with character, not characters. So you better make sure you got character, because at the end of the day, you know, if you've been doing this long enough, that's kind of where it comes down to. So, but yeah, we'll take those 13 days to do 10 practices, and they tend to be a spring game versus a different opponent, and you get to test and try things out.
That's cool. So it's instead of playing yourself, instead of like making a hybrid game, your spring game is against another school instead. That's kind of the
Yeah,
concept
so
of it. That's really
yeah,
cool.
in
That's
Georgia,
awesome. I never heard of that.
yeah, yeah, in Georgia you get a choice. I mean, you can do black and gold; those are our colors.
Yeah, yeah.
Some schools do a black and gold, but yeah, we play,
Oh,
and you could even I actually enjoyed this style. You can actually do a jamboree where three or four teams get together and play two quarters against each other. Um,
yeah. That's old
When
school.
uh,
when did they bring that back? Because that's how it was when I was in high school, but then they took it away.
yeah, probably about. It's been a good while now. I say probably about 10 years now,
Dang, that's awesome.
8 to 10 years. So yeah, I'm for me. We're doing a one-on-one game. I'm playing my mentor, his school. The guy I kind of hone my skills. So it's a game where we both know. Sometimes teams pick another team and you're trying to win the state championship on May the 15th. You know what I'm saying? You get some of those games. For us, this is not one of those games. Me and that head coach kind of come in. We know what we do. We know each other's terminology. We know the blitz calls. We know what it looks like. We're generally working on seeing things that will help us get better in the summer.
Mm.
Yeah, that's
That's
cool.
the difference between a veteran and a rookie.
Yeah. So
Exactly. Hey, Coach. I was listening to you guys talk before this show, and if you guys watched my podcast with Coach Terrance last year, he did influence Noel Mazzoni as one of his influences on the way he built his offense originally back in the day. But one thing I appreciate about Coach Banks, and if you guys don't follow his channel, give a plug for your YouTube channel. It's like T dot. Let's make sure we get it right.
I'm gonna have to check it. I
Okay.
think it's yeah.
I,
That's a good question.
I put it. I
Yeah,
put it in the email. People could follow that, and I'll put it on
okay.
the screen
Yeah.
when we re-edit this. But anyway, what I appreciate about you, Coach, is that you evolve and you look. It looks like you're always looking to get better every off season, and you might not put a new thing in every year, but you're always looking to add to your repertoire. So for everybody out there right now, can you kind of describe what your offensive philosophy is? Like I mentioned earlier, you do have a lot of air raid concepts in it. So kind of describe your offensive philosophy as it stands.
Yeah, my offensive philosophy can be offensively. The base of my philosophy can be summed up in a sentence. I want to run the ball downhill and throw it deep.
There you go.
Figure that out. What is your best way to run the ball downhill this season? And then what is your best way to throw it deep? And you go major in that, and that takes care of itself. And that's kind of my philosophy at heart. How do you get those things going, and you go from there.
Okay. Like that. I like that. And then as far as going deep, well, I don't want to pollute the answer with my air raid bias. How do I ask this? Like, what's non-negotiable? I guess in your offense, then, like, what can you not remove?
Oh man, so let me say, it evolves every year. The answer when I first was a head coach is different than what it is now. I think so many things are good. It depends on, you know what I'm saying. What works for you? I can tell you where I am today, um, and that may probably wasn't where I was 10 years ago. So like even going back, I was an early acquaintance. So, friend is not a great word. Early acquaintance to the the R4 Dub Maddox crew and family. And so I will say, man, teaching that unlocked the explosive of the air raid. You know what I'm saying? And I am still one of my favorite plays. Heavy love 3-man snag and stick. You know, though I threw every version of snag probably about 10 years ago. 3-man, 2-man, 4 strong snag. And we have that in the playbook still. I have not broken it out as much. We have kind of tweaked snag and stick, but that was heavy to create an explosive off of that and double moves, and then we ended up. I mean, we did it because again, no one was only did it. A lot of arrows got did it. We did the whole orbit motion key 1 2 3 thing, and I really fell in love with orbit motion. I think orbit motion, man, is probably if you're gonna use motion in your offense, if you ain't gonna run enough jet or use that back for power read or bash, I think orbit motion is it to me is better than jet motion, and so I love post over the Dover concept, which you see that from Lane Kiffin tree family, however you want to call that, where they go motion and they're gonna run post over and they gonna wave and water and all that stuff that him and Steve Sarkeesian call it. Love that to a T. Um, and for about 5 years, that was one of the best things we did off our key, our inside zone counter key orbit motion. To now, kind of where I am, the easiest, best answer right now is to call deep choice 12 times a game and just be done with it and let it figure out on the field.
Your your orbit motion. You're calling that. That's the motion where it comes behind the
Yes,
quarterback.
sir. Yeah, when he goes
Okay.
behind the quarterback. Yeah.
And goes across. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
All right. So talk. You're calling it veer and shoot, uh, which is choice route. I'm with you. So you're hammering it downhill and then calling choice. So talk about that.
Yeah, so I mean, going back. So for me, I love inside zone. I love the hell out of RPOs. And I love counter. I'm not a. And that's semantics, man. That's a whole nother argument, right? Is counter power? Is counter not power? You know what I'm saying? But I love inside zone and GH counter. GT counter is good too, but GH counter and inside zone, and we're gonna RPO you to death off that and go fast and get it out there, and then we're going to call a variation of deep choice a lot, especially early downs, and see if we can. What deep choice did for me is again, you go back to your air raid roots and you learned this. And so I was spoiled. So kind of back it up and tell you even more how I got there, coach. I was spoiled my first 3 years of being a head football coach. I had an all-state quarterback in Georgia, 6A. A young man that made all-state junior senior year, smart as can be. He's not my quarterback coach, by the way, so that's really a full circle moment,
That's awesome.
right? That
That's awesome.
he's the quarterback coach, co-offensive coordinator, and he read, man, he read for verts like a genius. But we also had, so this goes into the whole deep choice thing you said, coach. We also had this thing called the 5 yard rule. Have either one of y'all heard about the 5 yard rule to the boundary?
Teach us.
Tell us.
Yeah, coach, it's real simple. If that corner walks up 5 yards in the boundary, check go anytime you want to. And he did that a ton. He cut, when you teach an R4, one of the tricks, whether you use R4 or not, if you guys don't know this, I will throw a trick out here for you. Um, that umpire is at 7 yards. That's where his alignment is, which is the hard deck. And so whether you use R4 or not, that's totally up to you. But if you want to teach your kids how to understand and read coverages at 7 yards, which is the hard deck, is where that umpire should be lined up over that center. That will give you a visual to what kind of coverage alignment you're getting pre-snap. Well, if you walked within 5 yards, especially the trips, we were going to make a living over there, which goes back to the basis of deep choice. Um, do you have space over there first, and then what does that safety do? The backside safety, are there safety to that side? If it's regular choice, if it's what I'm saying, trips choice. So either way, we read that safety. That was our next progression, which ended up being we ended up calling it a boy all girl safety. And then, our quarterback threw it like a champ. So after he left, it became a little harder to get either the quarterback to understand how to read for verse or the wide receivers to understand how to read for verse. Because if you're capped, you snap. Well, what does cap mean? Because they're supposed to be running 7 to 10 yards hard. Or I'm not running hard because I've already made up in my mind that I'm going to snap it. Well, you're really not capped if you run. And so then, like I said, that kind of pushed us more into now this deep choice world. And so to me, deep choice is just the ultimate way to run 4 verts, even if it's only 2 verts. It's what you wanted. Is what if more of us had knew how to do it 10 years ago with the air raid, you would have mixed and matched it then. As Coach Randy Jackson says, and I know he probably learned it 10 years ago. The rest of us didn't know it 10 years ago how Browse was teaching it. If we had knew it then a lot more of us would have jumped on it and mixed it with air raid philosophy a lot sooner. But that's kind of where we've been. But you see, for you guys that watch college football, if you watch now Texas Tech, that's what Mac Leftwich is. He is a air raid, veer and shoot, fast and wide guy. He's gonna run a ton of 3-man snag. Um, he's gonna run that to death, and he's gonna run deep choice to death, and that's kind of where in a perfect world I can evolve to. I don't have enough same time and players he got at Texas Tech, but that's like the meshing of what I knew and what I loved at first, which was no Mazzoni end zone air raid stuff. Now with where I am now with fast and wide, the Vin shoot, the Randy Jacksons, the Mac Left, which is Kevin Decker at ODU, all of that good stuff.
All right, so let me ask you some questions. First on the choice stuff. Your 2 by 2 choice going to the outside guy the majority of the time.
Yeah, I mean, yes, majority of the time outside guy, you gonna have that slot guy hold lane 2 and get it 1-on-1.
All right,
As
three
Coach
by
Jack,
one. Go ahead.
go ahead. I know this, kind of going back to what Coach Rand Jackson said. If you got Michael Irvin, give him the ball. So we try that philosophy. If our slot guy is the Michael Irvin, then we run a lot of switch. So like last year, Coach, we ran a lot of 2 by 2 switch because our slot guy was the better guy, and so we were going to take the outside receiver and move him into lane 2, and take the slot receiver who started in lane 2 and move him to lane 1 and have a field day.
3 by 1. You're going to the single side as much as you can.
3 by 1 for us last year. No, 3 by 1. We're probably going to the slot receiver. We're probably going to run inside choice
To number 2.
to number 2.
Okay.
If we want to get that alignment to where we can do anything to get to number 1, then we will run the veer and shoot fast and wide guys call it choice bomb or any grenade, things like that, where you're going to get into that sniffer back, and then you'll run the number 1 receiver to the boundary, and then the slot receiver. And your king, of course, that backside safety. Because either he's going to double team number 1 or he's going to move to the post. So either one, your slot or your boundary receiver is going to be 1-on-1.
Hey guys,
Pick who.
sorry, just
Go
for us,
ahead.
for people like me that don't really know choice very well, I've seen Coach Salas draw up 2 by 2, but the 3 by 1, and there's drawing tools in here. Not that I'm telling you guys you need to do that, but there are drawing tools in here if you guys want to visualize it for people. What is that the most inside receiver doing on choice 3 by 1? Sorry, just so.
So if it's 3 by 1, so the best way to kind of explain it, right? Too when we talk about choice, is let's go back to 2 by 2 right quick, and then we'll get into the three by 1 because it's easy. So imagine from the numbers to the sideline. Okay, that's what we call lane one. Everybody with me? Numbers to the sideline. From the numbers to the hash is lane two. The person in lane two from 2 by 2, his primary job is to hold the nickel star in safety. We
Mm,
made two guys play one. Because if two guys are guarding him, then the guy in lane one is wide open. If that flat player runs to lane one, then you can do some things. I'm gonna hit the whiteboard. You gave me access, so I'll try if
yeah,
it likes me.
hit it. I'm gonna put a little. Hold on a sec. Don't click it yet. I'm gonna put a little. I made this little panel thing that's pretty cool actually. That'll help you draw. Hold on. And get rid of this stuff. All right, cut all that out. All right, well, and 1 second. Let's see if I get. Oh, of course they're not on here. All right, never mind. So yeah, that's a whiteboard. Cool.
Well, so
Actually, so if you wiggle, you
numbers,
see that? Yeah, okay, you got it. Perfect.
numbers, hash, right? So numbers and hash.
Well, I'm not seeing your whiteboard.
Oh, you got to
Do
click
I need to
on.
click it?
Yeah, that click
I
on
gotta
that
click
square
it
that
too.
says watch.
Okay.
It's on where?
Oh, not you. I was telling Coach Salas so he can see it.
All right. Are we there?
Yep, we're good.
So basically, lane one and lane two, as you can kind of see, right? So you got your nickel star. I'll try to change colors. You got your nickel star. You got your rover, and you got your corner. And then we're gonna go back to I'm gonna call them Z and A, just for purposes of this. Your A has lane two going into lane three midfield. His job is to try to hold those two guys, thus creating a 1-on-1. At 10 yards, we're gonna make a decision. Top post and then a stem back. And it's a curl coaches where the guy comes back to the ball, which is a hard thing to teach now because high school kids run the curl and they're open and they want to stop. You have to work the heck out of the stem route. Wide receiver coaches who are air raid, non-air raid, you got to work a lot of top of the route. So in a perfect world, Matt, that's how he is. If this guy gets underneath here, then you have created a 101 for this guy, dig window, curl window. And we can get back into it. Probably what Coach said, like if this guy is low or if it's one high, he can keep running. If it's too high and he won't move, you can run a post, yada yada yada. Very rarely happens, right?
Hmm.
Depending on what it is. So
So
if
you're
it's
you're primarily running a dig type route with him, and not a skinny post.
yeah, I am more of a dig because if this guy disappears, I want him to kind of be able to hook it. So as he
Right.
start this dig, he throttles down in a sense at first, making sure that the nickel is still here.
How deep is he running that thing?
He's still trying to get about 12 yards is perfect. 10 to 14 yard window, but 12 yards is perfect. He can start rounding this dig between 8 and 10 and then grow to about 2 yards.
Okay. You're the second guy who's told me they're running a dig with that capture route.
We don't really skinny post it as much. I love double post, but we gotta know we can kind of confirm gameplay and then scouting that we know that's a option. But day one teaching, we're just trying to capture it, capture him. So does it? It don't allow me to do this. Is there an erase feature on here?
I'm gonna do
Have you
that.
done it out of off of play action?
Yeah, we're slight pay action. Arguing with my old line coach right now. Probably full slide, but that's a whole nother argument. But yes, play action. So now, Matt, if you kind of look at it here, right? You still got lane two. You still got lane one, and then you got the middle of the field, which is lane three.
Oh, let me get that out of their way. Sorry. All right.
So this guy in going into lane three, who would line up pretty much on the hash, he would be more here on the hash. His job right now is to do the same thing.
Okay. Okay.
He still has that capture route. A Z receiver already knows he's gonna kind of throttle it down. He's already almost on the sideline. He's occupying number one. And then now this guy has the gamut of possibilities, the inside guy. He can run the post to go and or the stem back route. So the inside guy now has to gather. My Z is gonna run a very, very almost out of bounds 7 yard hitch. And then this guy has full access to the field. If for some reason he gets back vertical to help him, then you guys they're leaving a 7 yard hitch by himself all the way to the wide side of the field.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll welcome after he catches it to go chase him down.
That's awesome. And so this is a more there's an R4 badge right there. This is a easier read for your quarterbacks and receivers, you guys think, than four verts? You guys have both replaced four verts with this.
It's
Yes,
much easier for the quarterback.
yes, yep, I agree.
Now you're running the Z at 7 instead of at 12. Is that an easier throw for your guy if he's left wide open?
Well, I think so. What we noticed, because we used to run him at 12 early on, because it was the whole number one.
Right.
I just noticed that it became a if there was indecisiveness, it made reading this bad. If he stops more at 7 and number one gives chase, then cool, bam. It was about the kid making it easier throw. A lot of time number one hangs and the middle guy's just wide open. So it was easier to run that lazier route because it made number one declare right now what it was he wanted to do.
Okay, I like it. I've had trouble with they most of the time Wise just working off the safety, but every once in a while that corner is jumping over there and helping. So I like the concept of stop them shorter, and now you got a guy wide open standing there.
Because at the end of the day, right, and this is what we want as offensive football coaches. I just want to get my guy the ball in space where it's 1-on-1. I don't care if he catches it minus one, 1 yard, 2 yard, 100 yards, right? If my guy got the ball in a 1-on-1 situation, then I gotta like those odds. And so if number one, if that corner goes right now, we throw a 7 yard pass. For me, who a defensive coordinator, the school nights you on the defensive side of the ball, and I deal with it being the head coach. We'll just tackle you and make you snap it again, which is right. That's the defensive philosophy. But if I remind my secondary coaches all the time, right? Secondary coaches are the worst kind of coaches, right? Because if you throw out a corner 10 times a game and he makes 8 great plays where he knocks the ball, lockdown coverage, you know how they do the little seat belt, the whole nine right there, great game. If he gives up 2 completions for 45, that DB coach is gonna come in the locker room at the end of the game on suicide watch. The kid was 8 for 10.
Yeah.
But they forget about that 8 for 10 if he gives up 2 passes over 20 yards. They're ready to kill him and themselves, set after a game. And so I'm like, whatever it takes for me to get the ball in the hand and to make you react, then hey, I'm all for it.
On this trips, this inside guy right here, he's running that same dig, that 12-yard dig that he would out of two by
Yep,
two.
yep,
Okay.
yep.
So you're finding running that dig at 12, that's enough to capture that safety. That safety's got to give him respect.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Or he'll get the post thrown over his head. And
Mm-hmm.
so, Matt, here's where your air raid roots can still come into play. We didn't get into it enough this year. It is definitely on my plate because it's kind of when I switched over. If my backside receiver runs a shallow,
Mm. Wow.
This is just old school shallow dig
Yes,
at
sir.
that point. If this is cloudy, it's becomes shallow dig. For us new air raid guys, more of West Coast look where they're running the shallow with the hook, where he hooks up in the middle. I think that's one of the go-to routes for Sean McVay. You, let me tell you how old I feel. I remember when Sean McVay was a freshman in high school. I was a senior in high school. Do you want to feel old or young? Either way. Um,
The same high
but
school?
no, he went to one of my high schools. He went to the private school, the nice private school. They ran the triple option, Marist High School in Georgia. They're damn good. Same head coach for like 40 years. They run the veer, no shoot. um, so no, they were one of our rivals. I went to my house back then. My high school was really really good in football. Not as much anymore, but back then they were really really good in football. So they were. We would finish 1 and 2 in the region when I was in high school.
Wow, very cool. So, talk to me
So
about you mentioned the sniffer earlier, and I'm not sure if you were relating it to this play. Like, do you run this out of with the
oh
sniffer back?
yes,
Yeah,
oh yes. That to me that's the you have to erase this again since I don't know how I'm erasing any of this.
I'm doing it. I'll do it.
But oh yes, that is money if you are using
Here, let me try to put an
sniffer.
image on the screen. I'm gonna try to put an image on
Yep.
the screen real quick. 1 second. Oh, and sorry. What on that? Before we leave that conversation, I meant to ask you. It sounded like you guys said on 2x2, the outside receiver gets the ball the majority of the time. 3x1, is there a typical?
So the good thing about deep choice is you're calling where you who you want to be the read guy. So
Mm,
there's if you want to go 3x1 and still read the outside receiver, you can.
you can still decide though a little bit.
Yeah, you still decide. It the great thing about that is, and again, this is gonna sound simple, but gotta be complex. Um, you gotta tell Randy Coach Salas to update the terminology because it ain't Michael Irvin anymore. Find your Puka Nua or Calvin Johnson or find that kid and you call him with a deep choice a lot. I don't care where he lines up at. Find that kid. Everything takes care of itself.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Get
So
him in. Get him in one on one. Figure out how to get that kid in the one on one situation, and that's what deep choice allows you to do. And then watch what happens.
And you had a lot of success switching it. So you could switch it even out of 3x1. You could
Oh
switch that
yes,
Z to
yes,
be the number two.
yep.
See, I didn't. I haven't done. I haven't gone there yet. So that's where I want to go next.
Um, yeah, and we've even developed the, and I know we're going to H back, so I'm trying to stay here before I go here if I need to. Even if I got to come back to that offline, we've had third down call. We've had success motioning to 3x1 and switching because again, you end up getting a shallow dig look on third down long. You get shallow dig and a dagger look
mm,
on third down and long. And so that's probably our best third down play. Third and long play. If it's third and less than seven, you know what we're gonna do, coach. And third and less than seven, we're gonna run the ball because if it's 4th and 2, we're gonna call it again. Like so, we're not really worried about passing the ball unless it's third and 7 plus. But if it's third and 6 plus, probably we're gonna run the ball so we can call it again.
that's automatic, huh? I like it.
Yeah, even with all this, coach, I would say even last year we averaged running the ball 70% of the time.
Damn.
We averaged calling deep choice 12 times a game, but we ran the ball 70% of the time.
Is that new to
We're
you,
gonna
or
avoid.
have you been going that route? Have you been progressing to that? That's a lot. Yeah.
That's straight
Um,
range right there, isn't it?
it is, but I mean no. So no, I ran the ball, and when I say that, coach, when I was pure air raid, I guess it was you throw so many. It hadn't really changed, coach. That's why the V and shoot is the only thing that's changed is deep choice in the wider splits.
Mm.
But even with my air raid philosophy, I'm gonna throw zone bubble, zone stick, zone now. How many ways can you still? It's still the same thing.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to throw that. That's still no zone. I'm gonna throw that 100 times a game. That ain't changing. Um, we have simplified more of. We ain't worried about the perfect call. Like we still, if you again, so in that system, right? We throw deep choice 12 times a game. Well, you. What are my other past concepts? Y cross. Well, wait. Y cross is still air raid. We still throw Y cross. We're gonna hit that fade out of ton. We're gonna we're gonna and here's how unique you can be with that. Again, I know side conversation. We will go 2 by 2 and go fade out to one side and call deep choice switch to the other side. Well, deep choice switch attached to fade out is still Y cross.
Mm.
The kids just don't know that. Now, if you just want to throw pure Y cross, we call Y cross. We still going to throw stick and spacing together. We're gonna throw snag. We're gonna throw you know what I'm saying, a smash. Like we still throw all of those things still. So that didn't go anywhere. I just think the philosophy, those are the tricks of the trade. The how and the why has is somewhat changed. Not necessarily what we did and how we do it. Because I think there's a lot of bleeding over into those two philosophies.
Definitely. No, I mean it makes sense, right? Instead of just throwing every down short to bring them up to then to throw deep, you're running, pounding the rock, and throwing a lot of screens to do the same thing. So, like you said, it's just a
Yeah.
different way to get there.
Yeah. So the philosophy switch became we're gonna throw it at you early, early on and at the beginning. That's the difference in the philosophy
Deep.
switch. We throw it on early down, and if we catch the ball, we'll probably throw it. If we well, either way, we catch the ball, we're gonna chunk it again. If we catch the ball to get the tempo going, then we might run it bam, 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 bam with RPO and then come back and throw it again. So, yeah, the philosophy was kind of more 50-50. It has kind of changed more to a 70-30 look. But again, when you run 65, 70 plays, you're still throwing the ball 20 to 25 times a game easily.
Yeah. Okay, so not, I love talking passing, but I am interested now in this running. I mean, when we talked last year, it sounded like you were hanging your hat quite a bit on counter. You keep saying veer and shoot, and I know that's what Baylor and Bryles what they called their offense. Are you running the veer yourself now too?
Oh, no, you don't run. I mean, they call it V and shoot, coach. It's inside zone. So let me say this, coach. V and inside zone. Have you, for example, have you ever heard Britt Dillman speak? I love Britt Dillman too, coach. Because I'm a heavy RPO guy, right? Britt Dillman says we block inside zone like people block veer. His
No.
dad was the old school veer coach.
Yeah.
What is literally the difference between blocking the veer inside zone? Nothing.
Yeah.
Who the guy you got to double team, right? Who's that best? Who's the best 1 to 3 technique? You got to double team him, right? Double team his ass, single block everybody else, read that in. If you got a sniffer, kick that in out. No, we're not running the veer. We're running our veers inside zone. We're
Got it.
going to run inside zone and count. Inside zone is the best run play God invented. Sorry to everybody who runs power. And I call my offense the power spread.
Mm-hmm.
But inside zone is the best run play ever invented, in my opinion.
Draw it up how you were just saying it.
If these linemen are too batched up, we can just take this down.
Yeah, let him go back to where he was drawing.
All right.
Yeah.
So I mean, so like, I think the crux of the issue is right. So let's just say right, and we can do that, coach. So let's say we got here. I'm trying to X, and then we'll go really, really wide here, right? So it still becomes what are you going to get here, and so we'll do it like this here, right? We'll go kind of like base camp rules. The Mike Star corner Rover. Free. So to me, we lined him up wide, but we're still gonna run inside zone, right? Now, if he's a three technique here, then we probably are not going to be able to, But at that point, it's just a base block, double team here, and it's still inside zone, and you attach in whatever RPO you want with it, right? You got your glance. You can read him. You can now screen it wide if they've got 3/2. Obviously, as long as we got you in this function, then we're good to go. And so that was always the basis of my offense. Even if you put the A here and you sent him in orbit motion, that's still everything that Noel and Tyler Mazzoni and Bobby Acosta and all those guys, that's still the basis of what I learned from them. That's still inside zone bubble. That's still air raid. We'll put the guys here and stack them. If you've got a really good H-back, you can run the slider. That is the tight end slider route. Probably if you've got an H-back, that might be the most nastiest version of running it that's available now. Either sending him across or to the flat and then running inside zone on this side because now I can double team. Now I'm getting guaranteed double teams. And in high school, to me, I want as many guaranteed double teams as I can. And I'll send him to the flat because now it's still 3-on-1. And if this guy can catch, you put those teams in a bind. Probably about 3 years ago, I made a killing. Had an ace back that could catch. We made a pure killing off of that one play. How many ways could we run that one play with the H back?
Love it.
Because teams still have to respect it. So inside zone is still the base. You're gonna throw deep choice a lot, but I mean those things haven't changed. Like I said, the only thing that's changed is calling deep choice more,
Hey, good ass quarterback.
and then the philosophy.
Throw a damn ball.
Huh?
Was there a question, Coach? No, sorry.
I don't think he knew he was on.
All right, cool. There actually are a couple questions coming from the audience. Sorry. Let me go look at that. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just want to let that guy ask a question if he wanted to. All right. So, question from Coach T. How often are you in two-back these days?
I was just talking to. We were talking before we started the show, right? I said my secret weapon would still be to do a lot. I'm probably gonna do some. I got two good running backs this year, so probably gonna do a lot of it. Probably gonna do it out of go because you can run this same offense from the go set. Brett Mayer is a good friend of mine, but you can run all of this from go. So, coach, if you've got two backs, nothing changes. Especially if you got two backs that are willing to share, you can do all of this from two backs. And so I'm going to do a lot of it this year from two backs.
And his follow-up is sniffer, wing, or like traditional, but like air raid spread two-back. It sounds like you're more of a sniffer guy, if I had to guess.
So I am a sniffer guy, but we're going to be a lot more, if my original stuff, a lot more regular two-back stuff, just from the go set.
Nice.
You can,
Yeah, I'll
if
erase
you
that.
can see it.
Yep, I'm popped
Yeah.
back in here 1 sec. Sorry. I was out in the looking at those questions. All right, cool. Just did it
So
quickly.
yeah, when we say that, coach, like you can go, coach. I didn't mean to do that. I mean, that's me. I need to move that.
What are we trying to do? Get rid of that?
No, I wasn't. My pen was too big.
Yeah, it's kind of fat, huh? Got to change that.
Yeah, scroll that down some. There we go. So yeah, you can put them next to each other, especially
Oh,
if these guys want to share. What's the difference? Because now I can block, I can run inside zone, or I can run the leak route. Or if we're gonna run GT, he can run GT. I can be the counter guy. He can be the bubble guy.
wow.
If I'm gonna call deep choice, like Coach said, I got a full slide. I got first inside. I got second. And now you've got a full slide, and I'm still running deep choice.
Wow.
So You can do it that way. You can also, if they're on the same side, like this, I still can go in motion, and that's still zone. That's key three. You can run counter. We develop counter where he does a drop step, the guard pulls, and the B leads up in there. And now we're reading front side counter with a glance off that backside safety.
Wow.
So the question to that coach is, I love a sniffer. For us this year, we feel like we're gonna have five really good skilled kids
Wow.
and a decent sniffer. So if that's the case, then we might just stay because what a defense hate, coach. You've been doing defense. You hate when a team lines up in 10 personnel but can run 20 piece stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's hopefully two running backs. Cause both of my running backs. Here's what I told them, and then I've got a slot guy that does some running back. Hey, if I can keep both of you guys on the field and run 80 plays, do you mind blocking? They told me no, and they're both really good. So if that's the case, and you guys get to be on the field for 60 to 80 plays, and if you block, you still gonna get the rock 15, 20 times a game. Everybody's happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it.
Very cool.
What can you go back? What's your favorite? I guess it your favorite RPO, the leak out of the backfield. Is that your favorite one?
Stick is probably my favorite one, but the leak out the backfield to me, if you've got an H back, is probably um, the most impressive. So if I get my offensive line here and I've got this H back per se, because now, coach, you force teams, you got an end, rover, corner, and a free safety, right? Because this goes back to right. If I'm running zone, I'm blocking up, I'm blocking up. He's going to the flats. What are most teams doing with this end? Is he a surf player? Is he a crash player? Because I still could at least 1 to 2 times a game quarterback pull it. So he's in a precarious situation, and he's a sniffer. If I run inside zone, will I block the end with that H back? If I go across and block him, and what you do is you have him feint like he's gonna block him, and then get out to that flat. That puts a lot of pressure. Because what are the backers doing? Oh, the backers are flying inside. You're showing inside zone. And then I'm able to dump that ball off to a sniffer if he can catch and he's got, skills. That's a load in the backfield. Catching
Can
the
you do
ball
the
outright.
same thing with GT?
Yep, yep.
Okay.
Hey, got a shout out to you, Coach Banks from Georgia Football Academy. Coach Cam Horton from Collins Hill checking in. Says great to
Yeah,
see
what's
you on
going on, Coach Horton? I thought you were going to call me this week. Don't worry about it. I'll talk to you offline.
the Love it,
Coach
love it.
Horton is an air raid guy at Collins Hill, man, which is one of our rivals at Central Net. But they do a good job of the air raid at Collins Hill, and he does a great job, man. That youth program over there, getting those kids ready. I need him not to do a good enough job anymore because that's one of the teams that we've got to beat to get over the hump.
All right, hey, we're ticking down here. I know we're close to an hour with you, Coach. I do want to ask you, and you might have already said it, so if you have, then we've talked about it. But what's the one play we were trying to ask everybody that comes on our show now? What's the one play that you call with it when the chips are down and you need passing concept and you need something third and long in a game situation?
Race it, coach. I give you two. I give you two.
All right,
I
cool.
give you two.
Hey, if you want
So
to
I
make your
give you
pen a little
third.
thinner, you can click that little pen thing just so it's you can. If you wiggle your mouse, you see like the little pen to the far right. Do you see it?
Yeah, I do. I do.
And then you
So
just like shrink it.
Um, I'm going to give you the third down call, and then I'm going to give you the best version of it. So both of these are kind of deep choice. So true to our air raid principles. Okay, true to our air raid principles. With mixing motions in here, right? So we're gonna send him in motion, And this is a one word play. He's going in motion, but he's going to run deep choice switch number two and number four. They're going to run the deep choice switch. Number three is getting in the middle of the field,
Mm.
occupy middle of the field. He going to lane one, and he has the lane two capture route. Okay, which in a sense, again, looks like some form of dagger. You can even tag number one on a shallow route, giving you a shallow dig. So 3rd and 7, that's probably going to be the first 3rd and 7 call we take into a game, which is sending number two in motion. Number three has lane three to capture route. He has the deep choice option for number one, and then the number four guy, the outside receiver, has the capture route. And a lot of times on third down, this dig window comes wide open because it gives you a combination look of deep choice, dagger, and shallow dig.
Mm. Love it.
And then if I'm going to call just deep choice, I like putting number one into the boundary, and then the slot guy number two here with an 8 with a sniffer. So you're gonna 7-man protect it, and one and two are gonna run deep choice, and you're going to tell your quarterback to read this backside safety. If he's a boy safety, meaning that number one is a dude and he double teams number one, that means that number two is one on one with this rover. He has a goal, he has to come back, he has a post. If he's a girl safety, meaning that he ain't worried about number one because he's not a dude, then number one is one on one with this corner. He has a goal, he has a post, he has a stem back. That all starts by reading this guy. This is our most explosive version of deep choice.
Wow. Wow. That is. I need to. You need to do a video on it, Coach. We're gonna have to get you on there. That's beautiful.
Uh, Most definitely. So
Coach, I know Coach Salas. We were talking about that was actually how we opened this the academy. He did his deep choice, and I think he said, Coach, you said you did 2x2 mostly last year. You didn't really do the variations yet because it was new to you. Have you?
I haven't gotten to the sniffer world yet. That's the next place I'm going. So we did 2x2 and 3x1, and I like it because you know you can go to the single side, you can go to the trip side, and we did almost exactly like Coach, except I was using a skinny instead of the dig. But Coach is the second person who's a good choice guy who said they go dig because it makes that guy more a live option on the play.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, I gotta start toying around with it. I've never seen it until recently, till you guys. So very cool. That's a nice option. I mean, doing away with four verts. My air raid heart hurts a little bit by saying that, but to be honest, when I did have my high school teams, they had more trouble with it, and maybe it's because the defense was a little bit better. I don't know. Maybe I don't know, but this is a really cool option for a lot of people out there. I think that haven't kind of picked up on deep choice. So very cool. Really appreciate you guys both kind of breaking it down. Any last questions, Salas, while we have Coach Terrance tonight?
No, I appreciate it, man. I took a bunch of notes. It helped me a bunch.
No, that was awesome breakdown, Coach, and it was nice to catch up with you. You ready for baseball season?
yeah, man, it's underway. We got big our second big tournament is next weekend, so that's what it is in the off season for me, man. Like you said, 9U travel baseball.
Oh,
Man.
baby, gotta
Let
love
me
it.
tell you some coaches, football coaches. AAU World for football 7-on-7. There are some bad cultures out here, but there are some good ones. But man, the 7-on-7 world, in my opinion, is nothing like this travel baseball world, man. And oh my God, I think travel baseball is worse than AAU basketball.
I mean, it.
And we play for a pretty decent program, but that world and the games and which tournament it is, and oh my God, and some kids switch teams. None of our kids do, but I think that world is yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're free agents at 9 and playing on multiple teams sometimes. It's crazy, and the
Yes,
craziest part
yes,
about it is little league in like little towns and cities. Little league is dead because there's no one left, and the kids that don't want to do the traveling and go play with what's left over, it's not even fun. it's, it's not fun.
yeah, and that's kind of where we were. Like that was not my plan to do it this year, but our park, local park, it was a thinning of talent, and my son is not the best player on our team. Probably one right now at 9U, one of the worst. But he was probably the best kid on his team at the park.
Yeah.
And because good news is we don't play. Our team does not play any out of state tournament. All our tournaments are local.
Good.
But I see the growth in the struggle as opposed to being the best that was left at the park,
Yeah.
and him thinking he was really, really, really good. I'm like, not really.
Hey man, confidence, something that you can't teach. So you take it however you
Oh
get it.
yeah, he's still confident. He don't know he's not the best person on the team. He thinks he is.
Love it. Well, great man. I hope the Braves do well. My Giants aren't looking that great, but yeah, man, that's great. It's a good time of year to catch up as always, and really want to thank you for coming on with Coach Salas and I. And Coach Salas, of course, always great hanging out with you every Sunday. Obviously, thanks to everyone out there who joined us on the Air Raid Academy Live. Be sure to stay connected in here. As I said, we're almost to 100 in the Discord. And of course, go to airraidacademy.com to check out all the rest of the content. So, thanks again, guys. Coach Banks, we're going to be watching you this spring. Let us know if you ever want to come back and talk some ball with us again. It's great to have you on with us.
Well, thank you guys for having me.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, guys. Have a great rest of the weekend.